one of the defendants in that RICO case filed a motion saying she should be kicked off the case. She's having an affair with this special prosecutor, and he's flying her all over the world on the taxpayer dime, yada, yada, yada. She has announced she refuses to recuse herself. She's not going to recuse herself. And so if she goes down, she's going to go down swinging. So I think we've talked about this before, generally agree doesn't look good for sure. I mean, I don't think there's any question she's violated her ethical obligation to remain above the appearance of impropriety. But let's talk brass tacks. The odds of the judge throwing her off the case. She's refusing to go. And in the end, a judge down in Georgia is going to make the decision. Let's assume it's all true. She had the affair, Arthur. She's having it still with the special prosecutor. She's paying him more. Maybe they can prove it. We'll see. We've seen documents suggesting it's true. Then at least one of the other co-prosecutors, the guy who has all the RICO experience. This guy has none. He's getting more than the specialist. And then she's profiting on it by flying all over the world with this guy on the taxpayer dollar. Do you think the judge throws her off the case? Because I'll just add why I'm asking, more and more speculation in the Atlanta press and beyond that if it's not Fani Willis, it's nobody, that they're going to have a very hard time finding another prosecutor to take the case. So truly, Trump's fate in this case could come down to whether this judge bounces Fani Willis off of this.
Well, Megyn, an open disclosure, I'm not that worried about Donald Trump. I am very worried about my client, Rudolph Giuliani, because we represent Rudy Giuliani in this case.
That's right.
I have to also watch all the words that come out of my mouth right now. But obviously, our position is that, we're joining in the application of this defendant, who's a co-defendant of ours, saying that her ethics and her judgments have been so compromised by the way she's handled. It's not like this has to do with a different case and we found that out that she's doing something on another matter. It's on our case. And you appropriately and accurately cited the facts that this guy's getting paid more than the people with more experience. And, she's out there saying, I'm not going to recuse myself. On February 15th, as of the airing of this show, before I came on, I just checked. On February 15th, there's supposed to be a hearing with the judge where everything gets, put on the table. And since she's refusing to recuse herself, the judge may make that decision. And I do believe you're right. There may be we're looking up the Georgia law, but there may be a law saying if the DA, not an assistant DA, but the DA gets thrown off the case by a judge because of an ethical breach, no assistant DA in her office can step in and take her place because they're all kind of tainted by her. I mean, they work for her, she pays them. So they would have to find either a different district attorney's office, or I think the judge may have the power to appoint a special prosecutor, meaning someone in private practice, a Mark Eiglarsh, and say, I'm going to anoint you right now as special prosecutor. But obviously, on behalf of Rudy Giuliani, we're very much hoping that this judge, we're very much hoping that this judge does the right thing and says, listen, your judgment is so clouded and so beyond being an objective, a prosecutor is a quasi-judicial function. Mark and I zealously represent our clients. Prosecutor's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to weigh everything out. And that judgment, her judgment and her ethics have been compromised, and therefore she should not be the prosecutor on this case.
So Megyn, I can answer it a little bit more directly since I don't represent Giuliani or anybody. First, I agree with you. I think that if this is true, and again, I wasn't there, but let's say it is true, it certainly creates the image of impropriety. It gives people an argument that the system isn't necessarily fair. So in the abundance of caution, in cases like this, I'm always a fan of just saying, you know what, there's nothing really that nefarious and we can certainly handle the case. But in the abundance of caution, we're going to then, certainly for appellate purposes too, we'll pass and let someone else handle it. That said, if she chooses not to, for whatever reason it is, maybe her ego is not her amigo, or because there's too much to be lost if some other agency takes control of this case, then it comes into the hands of the judge. And I think the chances of the judge removing this office are about as good as my odds of finally making it into the NBA. I am almost 56 years old and my jump shot sucks.
Why? Why do you think that?
Because I haven't practiced, Megyn. I didn't grow up in a family. I'm kidding.
Very good, Mark. Very good.
Thank you.
Very quick. But why? You don't think he is going to look at this? I don't know if it's male or female, but that the judge is going to look at this and say, you are benefiting as a result of your relationship with this special prosecutor that you brought in with no RICO experience. It looks to the taxpayer like you are pushing this thing because you're going to get another free trip to Aruba. That's a reasonable conclusion a taxpayer could draw from your breach of your ethics.
Yeah, the judge may absolutely believe that. The judge may find that. I don't believe, and I haven't done the research, but I don't believe that there's any case that mandates this judge then to say, I'm going to make the decision then that you're off, go find somebody else. I don't see that happening. Those motions are rarely granted.
I will just chime in with this, Megyn. It is a male judge, and although he's been pretty impressive in terms of controlling the courtroom, controlling there's a lot of egos in there, but he's also relatively new. He's relatively new to the bench, and it does take a certain amount of intestinal fortitude to basically throw a sitting elected DA off of a case and throw her whole office off of a case.
Let's discuss a crucial aspect of your financial health, your credit report. It's time to face a hard truth. Your credit report could be suffering due to unfounded, reputation-damaging claims. These are the kind of claims that simply won't hold up under rigorous scrutiny. And that's where Lexington Law Firm comes into play. For less than $100, Lexington Law champions your cause, using a comprehensive arsenal of consumer protection laws to fight for your best credit report. Lexington Law is fully equipped to challenge those exploitative creditors and the aggressive, annoying debt collectors who obstruct your financial path. Go and visit lexingtonlaw.com for a complimentary credit assessment. Let their experts place your credit under the microscope, working for you, ensuring that it reflects your true financial story. Remember to mention Megyn Kelly referred you. And again, that's lexingtonlaw.com. Empower yourself with the right team on your side. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.